top 10 most disrespectful attacks in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Number 10, the Super God Shock Flash, also known as the 1-inch punch. Now, this skill over the years, unfortunately, has been nerfed just a little bit, meaning that there's many more counter skills in the game that are just significantly better than the Super God Shock Flash. And I think that kind of goes into the appeal of it being so disrespectful, because not only that, but just look at it. Just look at it. If you can actually successfully pull this off and it actually fully lands, you will just go and use a 1-inch punch on your opponent, and the disrespect levels will just go through the roof. Your opponent will know that you are trying to disrespect them. Number 9, the Time Skip Back Breaker. Another counter skill, and one that I would probably say, in the given circumstance, it's probably better than the previous entry, the 1-inch punch, the Super God Shock Flash. But I do think this is significantly more disrespectful than the previous entry because, well, not only do you stop time, you freeze time, not only do you put your hands in your pockets, it does a fair bit of damage as well. But with that said, this only can be used really as a sort of back hit, so you can't really do it for any other situation, at least not for the most part. But yeah, again, this will do a fair bit of damage, you know, if you're a strike-based character at least. You freeze time, and then you just go for a back hit with your hands in your pockets, or your hands in your pockets, then you go for back hit. Fantastic skill, even if it wasn't so disrespectful. Number 8, Dragon Fist, the first ultimate attack on this list. And I think for the most part, this is pretty self-explanatory, but just in case it isn't, if you can connect this attack, you launch a gigantic dragon made of ki at your opponent, and that dragon then eats your opponent. Now again, this used to be more powerful than it is as of right now, as of this upload, as of Legendary Pack 2, Full Xenoverse 2, but you can make this a one-hit KO attack with the right Super Soul, Limit Burst, a Welcome Skill, QQ Bank stats, and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a most disrespectful one-hit KO build video at some point. Let me know if you guys want to see that in the comments. But again, you literally eat your opponent using a gigantic dragon made of ki. Number 7, Meteor Explosion, the second ultimate attack on this list, and one of the new skills added to Xenoverse 2, again, as of this upload. As it works right now, and this could possibly change in the future, who knows, but as of right now, once you connect this skill, regardless of how much stamina, or if they can even limit burst, regardless of how much stamina your opponent has to potentially get out of it, you can't use an evasive or a limit burst or vanishing or what have you to get out of it, and you just have to endure the gates of oblivion opening up beneath you. And it's also a rather nice sort of cinematic looking ultimate attack in Xenoverse 2. I hope we get more in future updates or in a possible third Xenoverse game. But honestly, just the cutscene, well, it's not really a cutscene, just like the angle and like the whole aura and stuff like that, absolutely fantastic. Number 6, Godly Display. Channel your inner Ultra Instinct powers and hit your opponent with several strikes, then finish off those strikes with an uppercut kick, and then launch a literal neutron star at your opponent, and it detonates, and you can thoroughly say that regards have then been finalized. What really makes this skill, in my opinion, just so disrespectful, if you can land it, is after you are launched back, if you can't use an evasive or limit burst or, you know, get out of it to protect yourself, you have to wait for your opponent to do a backflip after they launch you back to lift their hand up to start charging a gigantic Ultra Instinct powered Ki Blast, which then gets launched at you and then it detonates. Fantastic skill, it really is. Number 5, Gigantic Rage. Now, this skill it's just the best, it really is. It's such a satisfying skill to use, at least in my opinion. Now, you can just use, well, you can use this if you're being attacked, as long as you have at least 2 bars of ki and at least 3 bars of stamina. But when you use this skill, regardless of how you use it, you'll grab your opponent by the ankle and you will launch them down to the ground and repeatedly slam them off the ground before just tossing them away as if they are just worthless. The amount of just brutal disrespect here is just absolutely fantastic. And what makes it even better is that if you're even at the very top of the stage, regardless of which stage it is, and you use this and it's successful, you will go all the way down, you'll go flying down to the bottom of the stage until you hit either the solid ground or the invisible ground, and then you'll just go and slam your opponent off the ground several times. Oh, I love it! Number 4, Stone Bullet. You're literally throwing a rock at them. Not a rock infused with ki, just a normal rock. Now, keep in mind that I believe Jacko and Hercule, I think, at least as of right now, are the only 2 characters that if you try to go for a ki blast, they just launch rocks. Different to what this skill is, this is a super attack where you just throw a rock at your opponent. I believe you can charge it as well, and if you repeatedly press the input, it will launch several rocks at your opponent. Now, this does barely any damage, but it still does do damage. Again, it just barely does any at all. So technically, you can defeat your opponent just by throwing rocks at them. Imagine picking a character like, I don't know, Whiz, Ultra Instinct Goku, Super Saiyan, Blue Evolution Vegeta. Take your pick. And imagine defeating them with just a normal rock. Number 3, Dancing Parapara. Now, this is another skill that really doesn't need to be described or why it's such a disrespectful skill, but I'm going to briefly do previously said action anyway. Use it, it takes 1 bar of ki to use, and I believe it now drains your opponent's ki a little bit, I think, or their stamina. I forget off the top of my head. You're more than welcome to tell me in the comments, even though it's probably on the screen right now. You use it and it makes your opponent dance, and to either get out of it immediately, they have to go for an evasive, they have to go for an evasive, or wait till it's nearly finished to then vanish out of it. So you're using at least 2 bars of stamina, maybe even 3 bars of stamina, if you want to get out of Dancing Parapara. You literally make your opponent dance. Number 2, Super God Fist. Now, this is just a great skill anyway. It'll do the job and then just a little bit more. In terms of skills that are probably more efficient and effective, you could probably just replace this with Savage Strike, which also takes 1 bar of ki. You can also use the instant transmission version to use it as a sort of pseudo evasive or counter, what have you. But going back to the Super God Fist strike-based super attack, 1 bar of ki, and when you use it, there's a bit of a cutscene. Well, not a cutscene. It zooms in on your opponent's face, getting just punched. It's great. It's so fun, and if you can use it to defeat your opponent, it just makes it that much more disrespectful. Great skill. You see it's somewhat being spammed, especially on Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, but yeah, great skill. And it's even more disrespectful than it being a great skill, if that makes sense. Oh, yes. And number 1, lovely Showtime. Now, as of this upload, this skill right now, this ultimate attack, is exclusive to Ribrianne. Will that change in the future? Maybe, but as of this recording and upload, right now, this is just exclusive to Ribrianne. That may change in the future. However, this is, I mean, delete the game if you can actually land this, or if you can land this on your opponent should probably reconsider their position in the 2nd installment on the Dragon Ball Xenoverse franchise. Now, what a weird thing to say. Now, if you can land this does take a long time to actually activate properly, and you do not have any sort of super armor. So even a basic simple ki blast, just one, will just stop this from being activated. She does a bit of a dance or pose or what have you, and if you can actually fully use this, it doesn't do any damage on your opponent. It's a power-up skill, right? But if you can land this properly and let it play out, you will get max stamina, max ki, and a damage increase. Imagine this as meditation, but it gives you max ki, max stamina, and a damage increase. Oh, and by the way, if I remember at least, as you can see on the screen right now, probably again, if you use this properly, you'll recharge all of your now 10 bars of ki, as well as all of your stamina. I mean, just look at how long it takes to actually fully activate.
Everyone, shining, shimmering, beautiful love. I am transformed by your love. I am now beauty in